So welcome to the press conference for the competition movie Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Stephen Daldry, and we have wonderful guests. I'm going to introduce them to you, starting from your left. This is Max von Sydow. Welcome. And the fantastic Thomas Horn. He's amazing. And welcome Stephen Daldry. There's the first question on the left. Okay, whatever, we have some time, so take the first one. Yeah.
Anne-Christine Loranger, magazine Séquence Montréal. Thank you for this film. You stopped 1,000 people who have a cold, sneezing and coughing, sometimes all together. Congratulations. You have a great way of directing children, Mr. Daldry, and I would like to know what's the work you do with children so that they give you such incredible material. And I would like to ask Thomas how he was working with his character and with Mr. von Sydow.
You go, Thomas.
Well, this is definitely seems like a challenging character, and I mean this is really my first major acting role, so I don't really have much to compare it to. I would definitely say that there are many days when having my character enter my body and playing my character was very, very challenging. But Stephen really helped me to understand my character and how he thinks and why he thinks the way he does and why he does what he does. And we grounded our understanding of my character in the novel and in the script. And Stephen really, really helped me with that, so I'd like to thank him for that. And working with Mr. von Sydow was really, really great. I don't know, well, of course everyone knows he's an amazing actor, but he's also a really, really kind person, and it was a pleasure to be with him for 25 or 30 shooting days. It was really wonderful. Oh, dear. Oh, why am I speaking into that? Silly me, sorry. Why am I speaking into this?
There's no trick, really. The answer to your question is there's no trick really to working with children. I think we treat working with young people as the same as working with an adult, and we were very blessed with Thomas Horn. Everybody was very aware that he was our leading actor, and we rehearsed a lot, didn't we? We rehearsed a lot and prepared a lot, but there's no trick. I think that we worked with Thomas as you'd work with an adult actor. And yes, and it's very true, isn't it, Max, that Thomas was very prepared, don't you think? Max?
He was profoundly prepared. And I was very impressed, I must say.
Okay, thank you. The next question on the left. Sir? Didn't you? Okay. Okay, then you are. It's your turn, yeah.
Hello, Max Gunnar Relin from Sweden. Hi. Here. Question for you, Max. How difficult is it playing a mute, and is it a different kind of acting when you play somebody who has just to express himself with gestures and facial expressions and with the hands, etc.?
No, he's a complete human being. There's no difference. It's just, no difference. Not at all. But the difference is that it's interesting and exciting to do. That's all. But I mean, he expresses himself by writing, and he has a dialogue, and no, just exciting.
Okay, on the right, please.
Okay, this is Andreas Jüttner from Karlsruhe. I have a question also to Mr. von Sydow, connecting to what Mr. Daldry said. You rehearsed a lot, and I wonder if you could mention if there's a difference between a director, working with a director who has so much theatrical background as Mr. Daldry, and working with directors who are strictly cinema directors like Scorsese or Spielberg, who you also worked with in the last few years. Thank you.
No, you cannot compare. What is wonderful, I am basically a theater actor, and I have all my upbringing was in the theater, and I'm fascinated by theater work, and it is wonderful to work with theater directors, and Mr. Daldry has a great past in the theater, and it feels wonderful to work with him. Theater is a teamwork in a way, in a different way than film work is. Film is something that happens around the camera, and the actors are called in to do what they are doing. They have to do, but it's not. You don't build up together a film the way you build up a theater production. And well, anyway, it's very exciting, but in very different ways. I've had a lot of fun in this film, very much due to Mr. Daldry and very much due to Mr. Horn.
Thank you. There was a question on the left, please.
Hello, my name is Julia Douglas from Brazil. I will have to have a question to you, Thomas, because you just said now that was your first main role. And I would like to know, like, how was acting in a main role with Sandra Bullock and Tom Hanks? I mean, what was like the difficult part or the funniest part of that? Did you have fun at all?
Well, I had lots of fun because they're such fun people to work with. I mean, well, part of the reason I liked it so much is because the scenes I had with other actors were a whole lot easier for me personally, because they worked so hard at making their characters perfect and at playing the scene the best they could. And because of how hard they worked, it was really easy just to play off them, and I didn't have to work half so hard. But also, they were really, really kind and supportive at all times. I mean, I could have been intimidated by them because they have so many achievements that I couldn't even dream of, but they were always kind and really supportive of me anyway.
Thomas, if this is your first major role, what were the minor roles? What's the minor roles?
A school play.
What were you in the school play?
I was a grasshopper, believe it or not. That was several years ago.
There you are. Thank you. There was one on the right.
Yeah,
please stand up.
my name is Jan Gunnar Furuli from the Norwegian newspaper Aftenposten. This is a question for Max von Sydow. This film is about people missing people, and in Scandinavia a lot of people are missing you. Filter, the Swedish magazine, recently had an article, is Max von Sydow been kidnapped? Have you cut all ties to Scandinavia, or what has happened?
No, Max von Sydow is not kidnapped. He has just chosen to live in France. That's as simple as that. Kidnapped, no. And but unfortunately, the Swedes have a strange, bizarre clause in their laws. You cannot have double citizenship. So I asked, after years and years in France, I finally decided I should really be French citizen. So I applied for that and got it, and turned to the Swedish authorities and said, no, we cannot have you on a double citizenship. So unfortunately, but.
Thank you. There's one on the left, please.
Oh, my name is Mahar Sagid, African refugee news. I have a question for the director and one for Mr. Sydow. The director, you are touching a very, very hard point about 11 September 11, and but this time you put it on a child point of view, not about the adults, because we always hear about the adults talking about it. How did you manage to tell the young boy what was happening really, or what happened?
Well, it's the question is really for Jonathan Safran Foer, who wrote the book, and it was his choice to tell the story of catastrophic loss on that terrible day through a child and a family who obviously suffering terrible loss a year after the event, and how that family, predominantly through the eyes of young Oscar, tries or goes on a journey to try to reform itself, which I think in the end the family struggle to through great difficulty and through the journey that young Oscar makes, through this sort of odyssey that he goes on to try to find what the key might open.
Okay, the next on the right, please.
Claudia Schulmerich, Familienmagazin Frankfurt und Weltexpresso, ein Online-Magazin. Ich habe an den Regisseur eine Frage.
Would you please wait?
Ich hatte das Buch gelesen, aber habe es nicht mehr so genau im Kopf. Ist der Schluss so wie im Buch? Weil ich habe an Sie eine Frage zum Schluss. Der Junge, der Oscar, ist schwer neurotisch. Es werden an ihm alle psychoanalytischen Fragestellungen und Heilungsmöglichkeiten sozusagen abgearbeitet. Und im Schluss finde ich, dass das so sehr auf eine heile Welt dann hinausläuft, dass es mir ab irgendwann zu viel wurde. Und darum frage ich, für mich war der Schluss schon vorher, mit dem Auffinden des Schlüssels, war irgendwie der Film für mich zu Ende. Und ich fand ihn grandios. Und mit jedem Weiteren hat er für mich etwas von dieser Geschlossenheit verloren, weil er dann genau alle die Fragen beantwortete, die für mich vorher schon beantwortet waren.
I didn't get that translation. I'm so sorry. I didn't hear what you said. I didn't understand. Did you?
I understood. I think she was talking about. Yeah, I think she said something like she felt that every minute after the resolution of William Black, she said she thought it was redundant because it ended too perfectly. And can you explain why you ended the film the way you did? And she's wondering if it's the same way in the book. I don't know. That's what I heard.
Could you answer the question as well?
I found the ending relevant personally. I mean, you could say I have a biased perspective, but I think that there's still a very major issue with the grandfather who has just left town and he's going back to Europe. I think that's still a very major issue that's left unresolved, and I think to end the movie properly and as Stephen said, the movie is about a family, and so before the conflict is resolved, the family has to be brought back together. So when the grandfather comes back from Europe, it provides the resolution by bringing the family back together, and I think that's the point of the ending in my view.
Everything said? Okay, everything said for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay, then it's your turn. Yeah, please.
Thank you. I'm Marissa Anita from Metro TV Indonesia. I have a question for Mr. Daldry and also Mr. Von Sydow. First to Mr. Daldry. Well, since this was from a book, why do you think the writer create the silent character? Because silent movies or everything silent is making a comeback like the artist. Why do you think so? And for Mr. Von Sydow, which one would you prefer, playing a silent character or a talking character? Thank you.
Max first.
You start.
Okay.
I have no preference there. Human beings are human beings, whether they speak or not. They are just as interesting. And I enjoyed this very much because it was certainly something I hadn't done before. And I was profoundly moved by the script and by the story, it's wonderful to do things that you haven't done before. It's very boring to get the same offers to do similar characters all the time.
I think that Jonathan who wrote the book, was trying to make a relationship between the catastrophe of the bombing of Dresden and a character going silent and not being able to heal from that experience to Oscar, if you like, struggling to find a way to make sense of something that for him didn't make sense. So you had one character who stopped speaking and couldn't ever get over the disaster that they witnessed, and a character who was struggling to try to find a way to get over it. And I think that's really why he kept one character silent, was about the earlier catastrophic disaster of Dresden.
Okay, since you kept the microphone,